It's time to ditch the old meaning of retirement and enter a new beginning. Hello everyone, my name is Zach and welcome to On Cash Flow, where I help you become a master of your own cash flow. Now let's get started. Here's the definition of old school retirement. The action or fact of leaving one's job and ceasing to work. Now what is work? Activity involving mental or physical effort done in order to achieve a purpose or result. That is the old school definition of retirement. But when we talk about it in financial independence, we are definitely referring to something a little bit differently. But before we expand on that, let's look at the history of retirement. According to the Social Security Administration, Germany was the first in 1889 to have old age social insurance, which is what we refer to Social Security as here in the United States. They say that the USA's first Social Security payment was in 1937, with monthly payments starting in 1940. So initially it was an annual payment. But there is a big problem when it comes to the traditional version of retirement and how we apply it to today's modern society. But really quick, I just want to note that this video was actually inspired by another YouTuber's video, and I'll refer to their video at the end. So here is the problem with the traditional version of retirement. The problem is that traditionally, when we think of retirement, it is the age at which you are physically no longer able to work. However, things have changed a lot today in our modern society. Because if you really think about it, when you think of the term early retirement, it's sort of an oxymoron. Because how can you have an early version of retirement when retirement means you are no longer physically able to work? By definition, it being early means you are still able to physically work. So early retirement is sort of an oxymoron, something I've been thinking about. When someone says early retirement, they do not mean that at a young age you are no longer physically able to work. No, what they actually mean is that you have social and economic freedom from having to work, like having no other options. And so in our modern society, I think that when we refer to early retirement, we are not referring to the fact that we no longer want to work. We are referring to the fact that we want to no longer be required to work in order to sustain our life. We retire early because we want more options. We want more options for what kind of work we are doing in our lives. And if you refer back to that definition of work, it is very broad. And you might not think about that in the traditional sense when you think of work. But what it really means is an activity involving mental or physical effort done in order to achieve a purpose or result. That is a very broad activity, and it's actually perfectly fitting because there are many different things that you can do that are considered work. However, you might not think about it in the traditional sense where you're going to a 9-to-5 job and doing work for someone else, right? So that actual definition of work is much more broadly applicable. And it is something that most of us want to continue doing in some form pretty much forever while we are able to. Now, really quick, I just want to say that I put a lot of research, effort, and heart into this video. And if you are appreciating it so far, please make sure you hit the like button on this video because it really does help me out. And I really do appreciate that. And so what I am really referring to is a different kind of work. Because there are many different things that you can do in your life that would be considered work that would fall under that definition. A regular job, yes. How about very part-time work, right? We're talking maybe 10 hours per week. That is also work. What about running your own small business? Yes, that is absolutely work, including just having rental real estate properties, right? That is work. Caring for someone, maybe in your family, your children, your elderly parents, grandparents, or those with special needs. That is absolutely a form of work. And I still have more for you. What about DIY projects? Working on your home, working on your car, working on building furniture, all kinds of different work. What about volunteering? That certainly is work, where you are not paid in a monetary sense, you are paid in a different way instead. My point here is that work is a very broad definition, and it can cover many different things that you could be doing in your life. It doesn't just have to refer to a regular, 40-hour per week job. Now, with that being said, this leads me to the big question here. I want to know from you in the comments below. What is your personal definition of early retirement? Do you see it in the traditional sense of regular retirement, or do you see it in a different way? Please let me know in the comments below. I'm really curious to hear what you have to say. Here's the bottom line here from this video. This video was inspired by another YouTuber known as Erin from Erin Talks Money. And in her video, she talks about many of the obstacles and the uncertainty of actually retiring early. But guess what? Whether you're retiring early, whether you're working a regular job, whether you're working 2 jobs, Life is full of uncertainties. There is always going to be uncertainty in your life. You cannot control many of the things that happen in your life. But instead of making you feel powerless, this should actually make you feel more powerful, because you should be able to release many of those things that are out of your control and not worry about them so much, because there's nothing you can do about it. Instead, you can take a look at those things that are within your control and feel more powerful, because you actually do have more choice and more decisions over your life when you focus on those things that are within your realm of control. And so what does this mean? I think that you should still pursue early retirement. I think that you should still pursue it in a way of taking more control of your life, having more options in your life, so that instead of working at a regular 9-to-5 job and focusing your work on that, you can instead have many more options to direct that into some other kind of work that fits you better. And if you want more context from the video that this video was inspired by, I definitely recommend that you check out Erin's video, okay? I'm gonna put her video right here on the screen, right after I got off the screen. And I'll put it in a link in the description below and the pinned comment as well. Thank you so much for watching this video. I'm Zach from uncashflow.com, and I hope to see you next time. No, what they actually mean is that you have social and economic freedom. That is a very broad